The empire strikes back. The hoaxers strike back. Jussie Smollett walks free. A true miscarriage of justice. I gotta tell you something, folks. I'm starting to have a little hunch that maybe Chicago is corrupt. I don't want to be telling tales out of school. I don't want to be running my mouth if that isn't true, but I don't know what it is. Something about Chicago just doesn't seem quite right. And so now Cook County prosecutors over there have dropped all charges against friend of the Obamas, Jussie Smollett. Guy who smiles in photos with the Obamas, Jussie Smollett, who also come from Chicago. Now, what are the terms of this? He has to surrender his bond. So when he was arrested, he posts $10,000 bond, and he has to do 16 hours of community service. So less than 1 day of community service, and he surrenders his bond, and then he goes free. This is what the state attorney said. Quote, "We looked at all the facts and circumstances of the case, the resources that we have, our priority of addressing violent crime, Smollett's criminal background, his lack of criminal background. He didn't have any felonies or violent felonies in his background. Based on all those facts and circumstances, this was a just outcome in the case." Here's what Jussie Smollett says about it.
First of all, I want to thank my family, my friends, the incredible people of Chicago and all over the country and the world who have prayed for me, who have supported me, who've shown me so much love. No one will ever know how much that has meant to me, and I will forever be grateful. I want you to know that not for a moment was it in vain. I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused of. This has been an incredibly difficult time, honestly one of the worst of my entire life. But I am a man of faith, and I'm a man that has knowledge of my history, and I would not bring my family, our lives, or the movement through a fire like this. I just wouldn't. So I want to thank my legal counsel from the bottom of my heart. And I would also like to thank the state of Illinois for attempting to do what's right. Now, I'd like nothing more than to just get back to work and move on with my life. But make no mistakes, I will always continue to fight for the justice, equality, and betterment of marginalized people everywhere. So again, thank you for all the support. Thank you for faith, and thank you to God. Bless y'all. Thank you very much.
Where to begin? He says he's been truthful since day one of this whole ordeal. If he's been truthful, why does he have to surrender his $10,000 bond and do community service? If he's done nothing wrong, why does he still have to be punished? I mean, look, there are so many reasons here why it's obvious that the guy did it, but just in the first place, if he actually were innocent, you wouldn't have signed checks from him paying off the people who attacked him. You wouldn't have him getting caught in obvious lies. You wouldn't have had any of this. But even if that were let's say he actually were innocent, then he would go out there and say, this is a miscarriage of justice. I'm not surrendering my $10,000 bond. I'm not doing community service because I did nothing wrong. And I'm going to fight hard. Of course he doesn't do that, because this was a crooked deal, and he got let off the hook because he's a famous rich guy, because Chicago is super duper corrupt, and because he plays the racial and sexual victim. And so he gets let off the hook. Even the Chicago Tribune says that this is indefensible. They write, quote, "It's an indefensible decision, a deal hashed out in secret with, this is outrageous, Smollett not even required to take ownership of his apparent hoax." It is outrageous. We know that. But why else? Why else are these people coming out against it? Why else is maybe this not over? You've got the Empire actor strikes back. You've got the fantasy striking back against reality. But Jussie Smollett might still face federal charges. Because actually, the more serious crime than faking this 3 a.m. during a polar vortex, carrying a Subway salad, getting attacked by anti-black Nigerians wearing MAGA hats or whatever nonsense he pretended happened, hoax. More egregious than that is that he sent a hate letter to himself and reported this as a hate crime and as a threat. That's a federal matter. That's not up to Cook County prosecutors. That's not up to Chicago. That's not up to whatever corrupt machine Jussie Smollett has access to. That's up to the feds. Something tells me that the federal government is not going to take too kindly to this. They might take a harsher approach than these crooked prosecutors.